Imagine pulling a vegetable from your garden that tastes sweeter and nuttier than the best parsnip you've ever eaten. Yet you only plant it once and harvest it for the next 10 to 15 years. This ancient forgotten root is skirret. While Jerusalem artichokes give you endless tubers and amaranth-fed empires, skirret quietly outperforms them both. It produces clusters of sweet, crunchy, white roots that were once prized by kings and emperors, until the world almost forgot it existed. Extremely cold-hardy, drought-tolerant, and thriving in poor soil, once established, this plant becomes almost impossible to kill. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes I'm revealing exactly how to grow this legendary plant once and harvest for decades root, the best varieties, and how to cook it so it becomes your new favorite garden treasure. You're about to discover one of the most underrated super roots in history. Let's dive in. Welcome to Thriving Garden, your ultimate guide to perennial vegetables, forgotten food crops, and creating that dream self-sustaining garden where you truly plant once and harvest abundance for years with far less effort and work. If you're tired of replanting annual veggies every season, if you're dreaming of food security, low-maintenance abundance, and rediscovering ancient plants that our ancestors relied on, then you're in the right place. Today, we're shining a spotlight on one of the most fascinating, sweet, and underrated perennial root vegetables out there. Skirret. Pronounced skirret, this little-known gem from the carrot family delivers a surprisingly sweet flavor, like a natural sugar hit, combined with a soft, floury, potato-like texture that's part carrot, part parsnip, and all delicious. It's the kind of crop that once you try it, you'll wonder how it ever disappeared from modern gardens. We'll cover its rich history in depth, exactly where and how to grow it successfully no matter your climate, including adaptations for tropical spots like right here in Quezon City, Philippines, all the powerful benefits for your health, your garden ecosystem, and your plate, a detailed step-by-step growing and harvesting guide, and plenty of practical, mouth-watering recipes from simple everyday cooking to historical medieval recreations and modern twists. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's dig into skirret together. Let's start by traveling back through time to uncover why skirret was once a superstar vegetable. Skirret, with the scientific name Sium cicerum, traces its origins deep into ancient Asia, particularly regions of China where wild relatives still thrive today, and it's occasionally cultivated in traditional ways. From those eastern roots, it journeyed westward along ancient trade routes, reaching the Roman Empire by the 1st century CE. The renowned Roman naturalist Pliny the Elder wrote glowingly about roots like skirret in his extensive works on natural history, even noting that Emperor Tiberius was so fond of them that he insisted on having them grown in specially prepared beds near his villas on the island of Capri. Can you imagine? An emperor so enamored with this humble root that he issued royal demands for its cultivation? That level of prestige speaks volumes about its appeal in classical times. Moving forward into the Middle Ages and Renaissance across Europe, skirret truly flourished. It became a staple in monastic gardens, where monks grew it for both sustenance and medicine, and it graced the tables of nobility and common folk alike. During the Tudor era in England, it was celebrated as one of the sweetest vegetables available, especially before refined cane sugar flooded markets from the colonies. The Dutch name suikerwortel, literally translating to sugar root, captures this perfectly. It provided a reliable natural sweetness that made dishes feel luxurious without expensive imports. People roasted it, boiled it, fried it, candied it in honey, or even used it in desserts, treating it almost like a precursor to modern sweet potatoes. It was stored in cellars through harsh winters, helping families stay nourished when fresh produce was scarce. In Scandinavia, some accounts suggest it was so prized, sometimes called the Viking carrot, that laws protected it from theft, with penalties for anyone caught stealing from gardens. Skirret even appeared in early cookbooks and herbals, praised for its flavor and supposed aphrodisiac qualities by writers like John Gerard. But then came the turning point. In the 1500s and 1600s, potatoes arrived from the Americas via Spanish explorers. Potatoes offered higher yields, easier large-scale growing, better storage, and simpler preparation. No fiddly peeling of tough cores or fibrous bits. Over time, Skirret was overshadowed and largely forgotten in mainstream agriculture. By the 20th century, it had become a rarity, mostly preserved in heritage seed collections or permaculture enthusiasts' plots. Fortunately, today we're in a renaissance for forgotten crops. With the rise of permaculture principles, food forests, regenerative gardening, no-dig methods, and a renewed focus on food resilience amid climate challenges, Skirret is surging back into popularity. Gardeners worldwide are planting it, sharing harvests, and proving it's a perfect fit for low-effort, high-reward perennial systems. If you're hooked on these stories of ancient, resilient plants that can bring real abundance to your space with minimal ongoing work, please smash that like button. It helps spread the word about forgotten perennials. And if you want weekly deep dives just like this into crops that plant once and keep giving, subscribe to Thriving Garden right now and hit the bell notification. We're growing a community dedicated to sustainable, self-sufficient gardening. Come along for the journey. Now let's get practical. Where and how does Skirret actually grow? This plant is impressively adaptable and hardy. As a true perennial, it thrives in USDA hardiness zones 4 through 9, surviving winter lows down to -20 degrees Fahrenheit, or about -29 degrees Celsius. That's excellent cold tolerance, making it ideal for temperate zones across Europe, the United Kingdom, northern United States and Canada, cooler parts of Australia like Tasmania, and even mountainous or highland areas elsewhere. For best results, target daytime growing temperatures of 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, or 15 to 24 degrees Celsius. In prolonged heat above 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees Celsius, the roots can turn woody or less sweet, so provide afternoon shade, especially in hotter summers. Skirret loves full sun for maximum root size and sweetness, but it handles partial shade very well, often found naturally at forest edges or under light tree cover. Soil is crucial. It demands consistently moist yet well-drained, fertile, loamy conditions with a pH of 6.0 to 7.0. Heavy clay that stays soggy leads to rot, while fast-draining sand dries out too quickly and stresses the plant. Amend generously with compost or aged manure to boost fertility and moisture retention. Mulch thickly with straw, leaves, or wood chips to keep the soil cool and damp. In warmer or tropical climates like here in the Philippines, success is still possible with smart adaptations. Plant in a shaded or semi-shaded spot, under taller perennials, fruit trees, or shade cloth to mimic cooler, forested conditions. Maintain constant soil moisture, daily watering during dry spells. Use raised beds for better drainage in heavy rains, and treat it as a cool season crop. Start early in the cooler months and harvest before peak summer heat. Many tropical gardeners report good results this way, especially with mulch and organic matter. For propagation, seeds work but are slow. Germination can take weeks and needs consistent moisture and warmth. Sow indoors or in a cold frame late winter to early spring, a ½ inch or 1.3 centimeters deep, then transplant out. Easier and faster. Divide established clumps in late fall or early spring when dormant. Dig up a mature plant, tease apart the crowns, each with roots and buds, and replant immediately. This method gives quicker harvests, often in the first or second year. Companion planting helps too. Skirret pairs wonderfully with chives, onions, or garlic, which repel pests like aphids. Beans or radishes can fill space early on. Avoid close planting with other Apiaceae family members like carrots, parsnips, dill, or parsley, as they share similar pests and diseases. In food forests, it fits beautifully at edges, attracting pollinators with its white umbel flowers while improving soil with deep roots. Pests and diseases are minimal compared to annual crops. Voles or rodents may nibble roots, use barriers or traps if needed. Root knot nematodes can occasionally damage in poor soil, rotate locations, and build soil health to prevent. Black blight, a septoria fungus, sometimes hits leaves in humid conditions, improve air circulation, avoid overhead watering, and remove affected parts early. Overall, healthy organic practices keep issues rare. The benefits make Skirret a standout. As a perennial, it eliminates yearly replanting. Clumps expand naturally, providing expanding yields from year 2 onward. This saves time, reduces soil disturbance, and builds long-term food security. The roots are naturally high in natural sugars and starches, offering sweetness without added sweeteners, perfect for low-sugar diets. Nutritionally, it's a carrot family powerhouse, loaded with vitamin C for immunity, potassium for heart health, dietary fiber for digestion, antioxidants, and complex carbs for steady energy. It's lower calorie than potatoes, yet more filling and nutrient-dense. Ecologically, the deep roots aerate soil, prevent erosion, and support beneficial microbes in no-dig or regenerative setups. Summer flowers draw bees, hoverflies, and lacewings for natural pest control in your garden ecosystem. Growing step by step. Source seeds or offsets. Divisions are best for speed. Plant in early spring after frost risk. Space 12 to 18 inches, 30 to 45 centimeters, apart in rows 18 to 36 inches, 45 to 91 centimeters, wide. Water regularly to keep moist. Drought makes roots tough. Mulch heavily, fertilize nitrogen-rich in spring/summer. Watch for slugs in wet weather or aphids if dry. Hand-pick or use neem if needed. Harvest late fall after light frost for peak sweetness. Cold converts starches to sugars. Use a fork to lift clumps gently. Take outer larger roots, 4 to 8 inches or 10 to 20 centimeters long. Leave inners to regrow. Yields grow dramatically by year 3. Prep. Scrub well. Young roots eat raw, crisp and sweet. Older ones parboil 3 to 5 minutes to slip off skin easily. Cooking brings out magic. Simple pan-fried, parboil 3 to 5 minutes, slice lengthwise, fry in butter/oil 5 to 8 minutes until crispy golden outside, gooey inside. Season salt, pepper, garlic, irresistible side. Medieval fritters. Parboil 4 minutes. Chop. Batter. Flour, egg, ale/milk, salt, herbs, sage/rosemary. Dip, shallow fry 3 to 5 minutes golden, drain, serve with yogurt or almond sauce. Roasted, oil, salt, pepper toss, 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius, 10 to 20 minutes, flipping for caramelization. Mix with Jerusalem artichokes. Skirret pie, historical twist. Parboil/peel large roots. Layer with butter, cinnamon, sugar, citron peel, candied orange, rose water, white wine, sliced boiled Jerusalem artichokes. Top with butter pastry, bake. Finish with hot sack caudle, sack wine, sugar, nutmeg, egg yolks, butter. Modern mash. Boil until soft, mash with butter/cream. Sweeter than potato mash. Soups/stews. Add chunks for natural thickening and subtle sweetness. Spring shoots. Steam/saute young greens, mild carroty taste. Even fusion. Try Skirret halwa. Great, cook with milk, cardamom, nuts for an Indian-inspired sweet treat. Skirret is that rare, ancient powerhouse. Sweet, productive, resilient, and perfectly suited to thriving perennial gardens. Picture harvesting sweet roots year after year from one planting. True independence. If this fired you up, like the video, comment. Tried Skirret yet? Favorite perennial root? Subscribe to Thriving Garden for more forgotten crops, permaculture tips, and step-by-steps. bell on. Next one's coming soon. Happy gardening, stay thriving, and see you in the garden.